Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Vibing with Sleezy, the podcast. This is season 4, episode 3. I want to thank everybody for listening, downloading, tuning in. The first two episodes have been a great success. Thank you for everybody that has been listening. I'm really excited that this season is back. Season 4, it just feels good. It has a good ring to it. So, I have a very special guest for episode 3. He's actually a good friend of mine from childhood. We were neighbors across the street. We got into a bunch of stuff as kids and ran around. And here recently, we kind of lost touch. We reconnected on social media. He has his own YouTube channel and Facebook, and it's something I think is really impressive. And I think it's something unique. It's dumpster diving, and I think that's something really cool. So my special guest is Andy Abell or Andrew Abell. How you doing, brother?
What's up? I'm doing good. Glad to be here.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate you taking the time. Your YouTube channel is OMG Andy, and you can also find that on the social media site. So let's just get started. I have to ask you with the first question: what got you into dumpster diving? And I have to say, it is very unique, and I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, what got me into it was I was flipping through YouTube watching videos and I seen somebody do it. And at first, like everything, I was skeptical, like, oh, no way. You didn't find that.
Hmm.
And so I went out and I tried it and yeah, found a lot.
Yeah, I watch your videos, and you first started, I got an invite to your OMG Andy page, and I started watching the videos, and I like them because it's something different. There's a different variety, and you're hitting different stores, and of course, I don't want to take any of your secret spots or any of your intel and share with people, but what are some stores that you like to hit? What are ones that interest you the most?
The ones that interested me the most would probably be like Bath and Body Works because they
Okay.
throw away a lot of good stuff. And probably Five Below. I know it's kind of like cheaper end priced items, but you could find a lot. They usually actually put them in a bag for me and leave them in the dumpster.
Oh, that's cool. So have you gotten to know some of these stores over time?
Yes, I've gotten to know security, some of the employees, some of the managers. Um, some of them are cool, some of them they don't want you around.
Yeah, yeah. Like, here's the thing I always was wondering, why what's the issue of why would a store not want somebody dumpster diving? Like, what's the big deal if they're throwing it away in the first place?
The the thing that I hear the most when I ask, because I ask people, I'm not afraid to ask, but what I hear the most is it's a liability issue. If
Hmm.
I go, jump out of the dumpster and I flip and fall or get hurt, injured, it's on the company.
Gotcha. Okay. So they're worried about lawsuits and the follow up. So I guess they're thinking, oh, this guy's dumpster diving. He's going to be quick to turn around and sue us if he gets hurt. So yeah, that's I get that. I get that, but I also feel like too it's like you're able to put some of this stuff that the store doesn't need back to reuse, which I think is really cool because I was watching some of your videos and it's like you do a lot of cool stuff with food, don't you?
Yes, if it's good, not tampered with, in date and stuff, I try to obviously clean the boxes off, sanitize it the best I can, give it to people in need around the community. I feed homeless people with it, put it in local pantry boxes. Just try to make a change. Yeah, I know I'm one person, but I try my best.
No, I hear you, man. That's awesome that you're doing that. Do you find that it's a lot of food that's getting dumped, or is it just hit or miss? Is it shocking? Like, does it make you just blow your mind?
It's on the shocking end of it. It just blows
Wow.
my mind that all this food is being wasted when
Yeah.
there's 100 people in the world. Um, every night I go out, I probably find, I don't know, probably about $200 to $300 worth of food.
Wow. So is it? I mean, is it? It's pretty much food of like that is packaged and sealed up, or is it things that are already open? I mean, what are you finding?
Uh, Basically, brand new, still sealed up in the box, like you would buy it off the store shelf.
Wow. Oh my gosh. And is this? And or, I mean, is some of this is expired, or is some of it unexpired?
Some of it is expired. Most of it's not. It's still within date by a couple weeks. Um, but yeah, some of it is expired. If it is, I'll leave it because I don't want to get anybody sick or chance that.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of it's still good.
And then people, and now when you're bringing it to these places which, not saying I've never donated anything before, but just out of curiosity, just for the listeners as well, when you are bringing food or products to these places, are they pretty receptive of it? Like, are they excited to get it, or they question where you got it from? Because I know you're probably bringing a bigger quantity than maybe some normal person would bring.
Some people question, and I'm very open with it. I'll tell them exactly the process and stuff like that. Other people, they're just excited to get some cereal. They're excited to get ramen noodles. They're hungry, and um, some people do question. Some people just take it.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I like that. I mean, I think it's a great idea, and I think too, it's like you and I both know, just living in Louisville, you see how the homeless in the community really needs help, especially in a lot of areas. And I think it's great you're doing that. And I think any way that you can take something out of the dumpster and help the community, it's a blessing in its own right. I was going to ask you as well, what's the areas you like to dumpster dive, like in Louisville? For people listening or from here, are you an East End guy, South End, West End? I mean, where are you going?
I'm all over.
All over.
I'll travel. Yeah, I'll travel all over. I'll go to different states and stuff. Like if I'm on vacation, or I'll hit east, west, south, north. As long as it's legal in the state, you'll find me in the dumpster.
Hey, that's a cool motto. That's a good motto for your brand. What's the state outside of Kentucky you've had the most luck, or that you thought was cool for dumpster diving?
Florida,
Florida.
Florida's
Okay.
all right. Yep.
But was it just because so many, or is it just the quantity inside? And are you like in the Panhandle? Like what parts of Florida?
Uh, Probably around the Destin area, San and Destin, and stuff like that. Um,
Okay,
and
nice.
the only reason why I even did that was because I was like, you know what? I want to just check out to see some of these souvenir shops.
Hmm.
Yeah, you can get free hoodies, t-shirts, whatever.
Oh, I bet. I mean, that's a genius idea, because that's something I like to do when I go to Florida or somewhere like that. I'm really big into like eBay flipping. I actually something I actually haven't mentioned on here. I got my eBay back since my last season. Mr. E loves to sell and buy. Check it out on eBay. But yeah, the I end up pretty much taking stuff and flipping it. I love going to Goodwill. Like here recently, I spent like, I think it was 75 cents on a license plate cover I found, flipped it for like 20 some bucks. So I love when I go to Florida, I'll hit up those places like Goodwill, and you just shocked how many people are donating touristy stuff and beach items. And so I bet the souvenir shops are throwing out old shirts and stuff like that. So that's a great idea. Do you find you the question I know that you probably get asked by people, and something that interests me as well. It's kind of a two-parter. Do you deal with a lot of animals or rodents in these dumpsters, or like is that something you examine before you're getting in?
The answer, the first part of that is I've only had it happen twice, and it was at a pet store.
Okay.
So I jumped in, started, looking for the dog food, the cat food, just, different stuff. And I saw a bag moving.
Ooh.
And I'm like, what is in this bag? Why is it moving? So I opened it, and I found a lizard. I found I just find all kinds of stuff that I don't know if it gets mixed in or when they clean the cages or what. But there's been a few times I found some animals that I had to rescue. I found some raccoons in there. I didn't jump in yet. I've seen them before.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, sometimes I encounter animals that scavenge in the dumpsters, and then sometimes I find animals that are trapped in the dumpster. So I've dealt with both.
Do you find that do you ever find an issue of like bugs? Like, or is that something that concerns you ever?
No, actually, the dumpsters I hit are pretty clean. Uh,
Wow.
they're I have not seen any rats, any kind of bugs or anything. I'm sure if I hit a food dumpster or something, that would be a different story. But I try to stay away from food and restaurants.
Oh, I can only imagine. And I bet too a lot of the places that you're hitting are on a regular dumpster schedule. So it's like they're routinely being thrown out, like I guess cleaned out regularly. So it's like you're probably not facing where it's like the trash been sitting there for months to have a bunch of stuff, be crawling all over it. So I get that for sure. And then you find like I watched one of your episodes. I've done my research. OMG Andy. So one of the episodes I liked that you did a clip. You and I was shocked. I was shocked how they were so nice to you about it all. You were in a dumpster. You actually had your light on your head with the strap, and you were checking some out. And I believe it was a cop or security of that shopping center. Maybe it was a cop, but they pulled up to you and they were kind of like, "Hey, what are you doing, man?" And you were just like, "Yo," you kept it real, like, "Hey, I'm dumpster diving, whatever." And it was funny. I was waiting to see the reaction, and the reaction was more of, "Oh, you find anything cool in there? You ever find anything?" And so I thought it was funny. The dude's actually interested in what you were doing.
Oh yeah, that was Louisville Metro Police,
Okay,
and I'm gonna give a shout out to them for you know understanding and just always being respectful because I've encountered Louisville Metro Police a lot in dumpster diving. Um, they always give me the go ahead.
cool. Okay, that's cool. I'm glad that you do get that because I think what you're doing, man, with this is not only cool, like you're making an entertainment brand with it, but you are using the stuff, you're donating stuff back. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't see maybe others that are on drugs or doing something crazy with the stuff, but it's like you're not doing anything sketchy, so I don't see why they shouldn't let you do your thing. Now I noticed too on some of your videos you use a few different tools. You got the light on your head, which I feel like that helps you a lot at night. Uh, is there anything else that you need, like tool wise, dumpster diving? I mean, you have your grabber. I see the long grabber on the rod. Is there anything else you bring with you?
No, mainly my lights, my grabber, and a camera. I mean, there are some stuff out there that I could use, like I might need like a magnet on a stick, or a poker or something, to like hook a bag.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, the main thing if you ever want to start is a light at night, a grabber, um, and I mean, you really don't need a grabber. You can just, if you want to, just jump in.
Yeah.
If you're not afraid to do it. Um, but yeah, those are my two main things I use.
Were you ever intimidated by jumping in or scared? Is there a dumpster that's done that to you? Or in the beginning, was this something that you're like, all right, I'll grab from outside the dumpster, but like what about the first time you jumped in? Were you nervous?
Oh, for sure. The first time I do anything, I'm always kind of sketched out. Like, what if it doesn't, play out the way you want it to?
Yeah.
Uh, I was always afraid of getting caught
Okay.
and uh, like people's, I guess, judgment. Because people think differently,
Hmm.
and I'm always, afraid that, oh, he's nasty, or oh, he's homeless, or he's this, and really it's not even about all that. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with any of this, but that was just going through my head. Like, if I get caught, I'm gonna get ran off, cussed out, police gonna be called. Like, I automatically think the worst, and
Yeah.
I shouldn't. I really shouldn't, but it's my own thinking, and it's been the total opposite. I've been caught so many times that you don't get nervous. You just do it. It becomes like a job, you know.
And you built, yeah, and that's what I think's dope is that you built such a awesome network now. Just from talking to you already in the beginning of this episode, is that you've mentioned how you've gotten to know people that work there, getting to know security, and I think it's the way you go about it. If you go about it the right way in anything in life, you're going to be treated or received in a whole different light. Do you find that in these dumpsters too that is there I guess the way I'm trying to think the best word to say it, competition? Like, is there somebody that you noticing others out, or are you noticing somebody hitting your dumpsters around the same time? What's going on with that?
Oh yes, there's a lot of people getting out and getting in the dumpsters. I've noticed just over the past 2 to 3 years. Um, it's becoming a competition. But it's like I always say, and I tell my Andy fam on my channel, um, I say, if somebody beats me to the dumpster, they have a right to go through it first. I'm not gonna fight and argue over a dumpster. I'm gonna let you do your thing. I'm gonna come back in after and see if you missed anything. Um, but yeah, there's a lot more people out doing it, a lot more younger people out there doing it. I ran into a crew the other day. It was four people. They were probably in their mid 20s, and they were all jumping in the dumpsters and clearing them out. And I'm like, go for it. Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah,
So,
that's cool. I mean, it's like I feel like with social media and channels like yours, it's bringing this more to a light. And if people are doing it, it's kind of like it's dope that you're looking at it more of, instead of competition, more of like, hey, let's get this going, let's get a community going. And and I think too, with anything, there's, I mean, in everything from unprofessional to professional, from sports, from just business in general, there's unwritten rules. And so there's probably unwritten rules of the dumpster diving, like you said. If you're at the dumpster, you got the right, you kind of claimed it there. And there's probably also things that people are missing. Like you said, I find stuff that's interesting that when you dive, you've been in like GameStop dumpsters and Five Below, and I've noticed you found like collectible stuff, like old Pokemon cases. And uh, I thought one of the things that was really cool that you found that I couldn't believe the game store threw out was when they threw out the video game cases. And it's like those cases are still valuable. You can get 10 to 20 bucks on eBay because some people might have the game and booklet, but they want the actual case. And they're just tossing the dumpster. I mean, it's crazy to me.
oh yeah, it's insane. Like I said, like a couple years ago, you I loved GameStop's dumpsters, right? Like I
Yeah.
was getting consoles, I was getting Wii's, Xbox 360s that they toss in there. I was getting sport games.
Wow.
Uh now I've hit a GameStop dumpster, but I haven't had it like a good haul from them in about 2 years. And I'm wondering what they're doing with all of their stuff now because I haven't pulled anything out of a GameStop dumpster in like 2 years.
I'm wondering if it has to do maybe with maybe they're giving it to employees, or I don't know. I mean, there's probably some rule or discovered somebody finding it, but it's like GameStop. Some of these stores you think about, they just have to have some cool finds. Some of the places too. Like I've thought about some of the uh, liquor stores and the trading card stores, and even Dollar Tree. It's just, you wonder what's all been just gets thrown away in there, and it's just wild to me, like thinking about, you know, some stuff just gets accidentally thrown away. So that's where I want to kind of go into another thing that was cool from your channel that I thought was, man, one of the coolest finds I think you have found, is the money you found. What you find, like over $70, and that was like a pink purse, and you were it was like in I guess the wallet part of it. Is that true?
Oh yes, I found. I believe it was around $80.
$80. Woo.
$80. It was in a pink purse. I go through people's personal. I call it personal dumpage. But I go through it and I'll search the pockets and I'll scavenge the purses and the jackets and the hoodies because you never know. I mean, people just toss stuff. They don't think about what they put in their pockets a week ago. Just different stuff like that. And yeah, I opened it up, found all that money. Um, I also one time I remember I was going through somebody's hoodie. I found I think it was like a 10 karat gold ring. This
Oh
is like nobody. Yeah, it's like no, they forget they put it in their pockets and they throw it away. And I feel bad. I felt that night I felt bad about the ring because I was like, well, if I can get this back to somebody, I would. But it didn't have any initials in it. It just said, it just said what it was. But um, yeah, I said that. Well, they threw that away on accident. I don't think anybody would throw it away on purpose.
yeah.
Um, but like I said, if I find anything that I can get back to somebody that I know they didn't, throw it away on purpose, I'll try to find them. That's just, I do that too. I creep on Facebook trying to find people all the time, trying to return items.
Yeah, no, I think that's awesome, man. That shows what kind of character you have as a person. And I noticed you said that too when you found that money. I remember in your clip you were like, "If I could find some identification, I'd return this money to this person." So it shows where your head and your heart is, especially with donating and those finds. And and now I was going to ask you, do you I know you keep some of the things and probably reuse them. Do you sell some of the stuff? Like, are you able to flip any of these items?
Sometimes my main source is like Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, stuff like that. I might put a couple items on to see if it would sell or if anybody wants it. Sometimes I post it for free.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I've sold quite a few items on Marketplace and stuff like that.
Nice, nice. And with this channel, you've also, I've noticed too, besides just dumpster diving, you do metal detecting as well. And I noticed that you charge people kind of just go to the yard, but you let them keep everything that you find on their property and stuff. Uh, you enjoy doing that as well?
Oh yes, I love metal detecting. It's like every day's Christmas. If I go metal detecting, I'm like, it's Christmas for me because you don't know what you're gonna find in the ground.
Yeah, dude, that's so how much is just on average for somebody, how much does a metal detector usually run?
Well, I got a cheapie. I got shoot, I've had mine for probably 10 years. I think I paid $65 for it. Um, they can run like brand new 150 all the way up to like $1,200.
Now, what all have you found so far with your metal detector?
I found rings, bracelets, necklaces, uh, found coins. I found a lot of change. I've probably found probably $500 to $600 worth of change. I just find a lot of stuff, a lot of toy cars that kids leave in the park. It's just whatever's on the ground that day.
Yeah. And is it rare? Is it like any rare coins? Are you finding like older coins?
I found a couple wheat pennies. I think they were like 1940s, I believe, or something like that. But nothing too crazy old. Nothing like. I mean, I love finding coins and older coins anyway. But I want to get into like the old silver coins. Like the Standing Liberties and the stuff like that. But I haven't found any of those yet.
Yeah, no, that's it's currency and coins are fascinating in general. I've always been a big collector of sports stuff and different things over the years. I do have some coins, and so I do like collecting them here and there that I find. But it's really cool finding an old coin because you're just like, damn, this thing has traveled so long, and it's you just don't know who's had it or where it's been. Now, when you're detecting with the metal detector and you go out and you detect something, pretty much if it starts beeping and like say it's over a grass area you don't physically see with your eyes, is that where you just do a little digging and usually it's kind of right there under the surface, or does it take a while to find it?
Usually, when you're swinging the machine and it beeps, you'll want to make sure because sometimes you'll get like readings that'll beep once and you'll never find that target again. I still don't know why it does that sometimes, but you want to make sure it's a consistent beep back and forth. And then I have a pinpointer. Basically, it kind of pinpoints exactly if it's not too far under the ground, you can pick it up. And yeah, wherever your pinpointer starts vibrating, you just stick a shovel or a probe down there and pop it out of the ground.
That's awesome, man. That is so cool. I mean, because, dude, ever since I started watching your channel, it's like, and I know that you're new to my podcast as well. Like I said, we've been friends for since we've been little kids. But, we're both learning about each other's channels and brands. And so, this is my season 4 of this podcast. And what I've really done with this show is I just pretty much, Andrew, have just different people on every episode talk about their job, their career path, their hobby, something maybe they're promoting. And it's been awesome because I've just learned so many people's stories and different things. So when I saw your channel, and I do a break between each season, and so during those breaks, I let people get caught up on the show, and then I kind of do research on people I want to hear or things that are fascinating. So when I saw your channel, I was just like, man, this guy's perfect for the podcast, not just because I knew you, but I was like, it's something very interesting. Dumpster diving, metal detecting. It's out of the ordinary. So I think that's cool. Um, Something that I've noticed here recently, and I think you do something really well with, and I do the same thing. Uh, I feel like you and I both are kind of similar people who do well with haters. I noticed that sometimes people will hate or make a random comment. You kind of just let that roll off your shoulder, don't you?
Yeah, if I see it, sometimes I don't look at the comments because I'm not feeling it that day.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I see it, I mean, I'll take what they say into consideration. Like, I try, okay, before I get bothered or upset, I try to see the point of view. Like, I try to understand where they might be coming from, even though they're wrong. Or they accuse me of stuff that they don't have any idea. But I try to understand a person, right? And then, I to me, I come up with excuses like, well, maybe they're having a bad day, or maybe something didn't go right, and but yeah, for the most part, I just let it roll off. Um, I might I might comment back, well, why do you think of that? Or you don't know me, how can you say that? Just I'm not very confrontational. I can be, but it's no point because it's really hard to change somebody's mind. It's really hard to do it.
And that's a good life lesson in general when it comes to sports, religion, politics, really anything. It like you said, it's hard to change anyone's mind, and that's why sometimes you see people's fights and confrontations unneeded because nobody's going to win in the end. It's just going to be a back and forth. But I think what you're doing is very fascinating, and so I said, like when I see haters hate on your stuff or anybody hates on my things, it's like you're not doing it, we're clearly doing something. And I say this to anybody that's being creative, you just gotta let that stuff slide off your shoulder and just realize there's always gonna be some haters. And I think too my next question I was curious about, just kind of roll off that, is where do you see OMG Andy going? What's your goal with this all?
My goal is to help clean. I guess it would be cleaning up the environment. I don't know if a dumpster would be the environment, but I guess it would be because it all goes into a landfill. you know.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. It does. It does.
So my goal in my head, though, this is just me, uh, help reduce waste. Help reduce what goes into the landfill and just burns and pollutes and stuff like that. Like trying to do my part in, I guess, protecting the environment
Okay.
and
So
also helping people out. If people need clothes, if people need food, because I don't think I think us as individuals, like people, do more than these huge corporations are going to do.
true.
You
Very
know, because it's all thrown on us as people to do it. It's all thrown on us. Donate here, donate there, do this, do that, don't waste. But the more I look at it, these big multi-million dollar corporations are doing what they're preaching not to do to normal people and throwing stuff away.
and it's
And
hard to hold those people, it's hard to hold those corporations accountable too, because what are we going to do? Me and you show up to we're going to show up to every Target and check to see if they're recycling like they say they are? There's no way anybody can do that.
no, they'll just laugh at us and say, "Get lost." I mean, there's
Yeah.
nothing that we can do except, you know, dumpster dive or you see something on the ground, pick it up and throw it away in a trash can. I mean, there's nothing I mean, we're as individuals, I guess we seem so small,
Hmm.
but when you get a group of people, you get 100,000 people that's doing one thing, it will make a difference.
No, that's true. That's with anything. If you start something and get people to believe in it and follow it, you can really do anything. I mean, it's kind of similar to there's a hip hop song by Big Sean, One Man Can Change the World. It's similar to that. It's just really one person can change the world, and it just kind of depends on who falls with it and who leads with it, and how people that are being led, go with it. And so yeah, I think that's a great point. And I think too that what's awesome about your journey, man, is that if somebody asks you, oh, you dumpster dive, and even if they're saying it in a jerk way or they're saying it in a positive way, no matter what way they're saying it, your answer, no matter what, is a positive light of saying, yeah, I'm giving back, I'm trying to help the environment. You're doing a bigger thing than, oh, I'm just jumping in there because my dog needs a new dog carrier. No, it's like you're doing this for a bigger purpose, and also just instead of just for YouTube. But I think it's cool that you've taken this and turned it into something that you can monetize through social media, and also you can just document. I mean, I don't know if you feel the same way, but I just feel like anytime you can document what you're doing, no matter what it is, it don't matter. It could be anything. It's more fun to do, if that makes sense.
Oh yes, 100%. To me, like I look back on some of my older videos, and it's like a memory timeline, you know, of where I started, what I improved on, and where I'm at now.
Okay, I like that, man. That's a good way of looking at it, because I went back and watched some of your older content, and I thought some of your older content was still good. Like I said, I like all your content, man. I think you're doing good, but I noticed how things change, and how you started bringing the light out, and and then there was videos when your girl was with you, and uh just different things. And then I think too, it's kind of cool how you'll go out and show the actual picking and the actual documentation of the whole process of you dumping and or jumping in the dumpster, getting it all, hauling it away, and then you unload it home. I think that's cool, where it's kind of gives people to look forward to the unloading, the hype of, oh, I found this, here we go, and is there anything too that, I guess it's happened where you'll pick something and maybe on site you're like, oh, this is great, I'm gonna keep it. Then you get home and you're like, what was I thinking? I don't need this, or I can't do anything with this.
Oh yes, a lot. Because I go in it with like big eyes, like okay, I'm gonna give this to somebody, they might need it, or I might use it later on, or sell it, and then I realize I'll get it home. Well, to me, what happens is I'll get it home and realize it's broke.
Yeah, yeah. I can tell that, not just from your videos, but that's something I could tell could probably happen in this industry.
Yeah, because some stores, believe it or not, will break stuff on purpose. They'll slice up shirts, rip pants, just so you don't get them.
See,
Um,
that's wild to me, man. That is just that's crazy that's crazy thinking. It just doesn't make sense.
yeah, it's a video that I got in edit right now. Is one of the videos where everything in the dumpster was slashed and razor bladed.
It's like it's like you're paying someone to take the time to do all that as a company, and it's just it's not really helping anything. And I too just like was wondering as well. It's that you're going into these videos and you're seeing all this stuff like happen where you see people shred stuff up, you see people where they're just breaking stuff just to break it. I mean, is it a case where do you think there's someone that is seeing you all do that, or you think they're being towed? Like, do you think there's just a jerk in every back room, or the store's telling them?
Um, there's two reasons. One reason is they do watch us. I'm sure they watch our videos. And another reason, what I've been told, under some of my videos I post, especially if people work at that store,
Yeah.
they will comment. Uh, First of all, they always comment, "Stay out of our dumpsters. We're going to call the police," stuff like that. And then they'll comment, "We are told to do it from higher up. We're told to destroy everything so you guys can't get it for free, or return it." Their excuse is somebody might return it. Um, but I always tell people there's other methods that they can use for stuff being returned.
Yeah,
Uh,
they could change something up in their hire policy with receipts or items or things marked. I mean, that's yeah. I hear all that, but I think at the end of the day, it's just people being fucking haters. I mean, pardon my French, but it's just people being jerks, and they're just not. They just don't care, and they're not seeing the bigger picture. They're not hearing you out of seeing what you're doing with it. They're just doing it more in a selfish way. Yeah, I don't know. That just kind of drives you nuts. Even I'm not even doing it, and it's just kind of frustrating to hear that.
oh yeah, it really is. Like you'll take the time, and like, because sometimes I'll find a whole bag of items, and I'm like, you know, I'll say, "Yo, we'll go over it when get back to the crib. We'll do a wrap up. We'll do this. We'll do that." Sometimes I do it on the spot. I'll get out in the parking lot, go through the bag in the parking lot, just to see what I got. But yeah, it's almost frustrating because I do it because I want to give back. If there's anything I can't use, of course, it goes out to the pantries. Food gets recycled. We'll keep some of the food if we can, eat it and stuff like that. But nothing is more frustrating is when you spend hours going to dumpsters and you get home and there's only like two items that you can save.
I bet that would have to be. I mean, it's got to feel a little defeating when that happens, but it also too, it's like it's probably also motivating you to go back out there and do it again and find more and plus too, it's like I understand that how that defeating feeling probably feels, but then I'm thinking in my head when you're finding stuff that are big finds, man, that feeling's got to be a rush. That's got to be insane.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, nothing can really, bring me down, but when I get a W, I get excited.
Oh yeah, I mean you've been that way since you're a kid, man. You've been, and I'm the same way. Me and you've always been very positive people. I think that's one thing we've been very lucky to be. We're it's kind of hard to get shit to bring us down, like to really defeat us or beat us down. And I think that's uh I think that's really cool. That because I feel the same way. Like when I see download numbers or I get some feedback or I hear somebody saying, "Hey, I heard that episode." Like Mother's Day, I was in a buffet line with my grandmother, and somebody was like, "Hey, I love Bible with Sleazy the podcast." So I'm like, whoa, like that was a win to me. Like I'm pumped. And to be honest, my whole time I'm dealing with my grandmother in a wheelchair, and it's frustrating trying to take care of her and feed her, and but the whole time in my head while I'm doing all this, I'm like, somebody just in the buffet line just said they love my podcast. Like nobody can tell me anything today. So it's like it was just like in my head. So it's just I can tell how, I know that feeling, man. That win is just woo, it just gives you that power, makes you feel good. So but yeah, dude, I just think what you're doing is awesome, and I'm really into watching the brand and watching where you grow with it. I've shared it with friends. I have shared with a few people. I have a few friends that are just like me that watch a lot of YouTube, or they get into these rabbit holes where they'll watch random content and they want something different. So when I've told a few of my friends like about your content, they've been very excited to check it out and see that it's something different. And I've noticed too that like the age range in your content viewers, like people that are common, are you have a lot of people that are super old, that, and I've noticed like, and it's nothing, it's just I've noticed a lot of older women that like your content, like that. I think people that are into consigning and kind of like me flipping and finding this stuff, you can tell how it motivates them to watch your stuff.
Oh, 100%. I always watch my analytics and everything. I go to my back office, and yeah, it's a lot of middle-aged to older women. It's probably, I want to say it's probably like 75%. Um, but like you said, the age is from 18 to I think 80 years old. Um,
Wow, dude, that
yeah,
that's big, dude. That's big. That's something to feel good about, man. That means you're basically touching every legal ear that you can really hit.
yeah, it's crazy, like your story earlier, you go out in public and hear somebody, Andy, I love you, or Andy, I watch your stuff, because it's happened quite a bit. And I'm like, oh, it's kind of shocking at first, but then you're like, oh, okay, that's cool. Yay.
Oh,
And
dude,
then,
man, that's what I'm hoping after people listen to this, they'll come and tune in your channel. I have a good following of people that tune in, and they love people that they always support people that are on. So I'm hoping that happens with you. I get a lot of my friends and listeners to watch your stuff, and vice versa. Hopefully, people that are fans or in the Andy fam tune into Vibing with Sleazy, the podcast. So I want to thank you again, man, for being on the show. This was awesome. Thanks for answering all my questions and taking the time out of your Sunday to do this. This will come out tonight on May 21st. But yeah, before we sign off, give everybody how they can reach out and find you and all that.
uh, I have all my social medias. YouTube, you can reach me at OMG Andy. My Facebook page is also OMG Andy. And your boy's got a TikTok too. It is real OMG Andy.
Nice, nice. That's awesome, man. And I definitely shout Andy and check out all his content. I want to thank everybody for listening, downloading vibingwithsleazy@gmail.com. Something I didn't say, and I want to say, shout out to AJ Thomas. He actually, during this last break, made a vibingwithsleazy.com. And that's my official website. I'm really happy how it turned out. We're still working on it. Still got a few things under construction. Need to actually touch base with him this week to get things wrapped up. But glad to finally have an official website. So vibingwithsleazy.com, vibingwithsleazy@gmail.com. Reach out to me there. Vibing with Sleazy, the podcast, Facebook, Instagram. Download Apple, Spotify. We're on over 32 channels. I got over 30 plus countries. So I can't thank everybody enough for listening, tuning, and downloading. But again, season 4 is going to be continuing. Episode 4 will be out this week. And again, season 4, episode 3 is here. OMG Andy, Vibing with Sleazy. We're out. Peace.
Bye. Thank you for having me. Oh,